Hello friends, welcome to this lecture on software as a service, which is the third service model. So we have covered two service models till now. One is infrastructure as a service, the other one was platform as a service, and this is software as a service. So we'll see how it is different and what are the responsibilities in case you will be choosing this service from a cloud provider. So we'll do in the same way, like in case of on-premise, you will be managing all the layers from networking to application. But in case of software as a service, all the layers will be managed by the cloud provider or the vendor only. So if you remember infrastructure as a service, if you'll take that service till virtualization, means from networking to virtualization will be managed by the cloud service provider, right? And above layers were being managed by you only, right? Similarly, in case of if you choose platform as a service, till runtime will be managed by the vendor and the data and application will be managed by the organization or you only, right? So but in case of software as a service, all the layers from the application to the networking being managed by the vendor. So from a responsibility perspective, here more responsibilities lies with the vendor only. But again, like I said, it totally depends on the control. Let's say if in your organization there is some compliance requirement that you need to have control, you need to manage the OS, you need to manage the hardening of the OS and the security at the database, and then you go ahead and choose the service model as per your requirement. But if you want to run, applications which are provided by the cloud provider, right? If you want to use those applications like Dropbox to, store the data and all those things, right? Microsoft OneDrive. So in that case, you need not to take care about the infra. So that is as per the agreement or the contractual agreement you're having with the vendor or the CSP, you can use those services and the security and everything manageability is being provided by the vendor. So a lot of responsibilities, some organizations might be happy that okay, they need to take care of all those things, right? But for some organizations there may be a concern about security and all those things. So in that case, it is totally on you that okay, if you want more control and security, then choose your service model accordingly, right? But if you want to save money and use the cloud applications, in that case, you go ahead and choose the software as a service, like MyHR, Dropbox, and all those things which are available in the market. So software as a service is like again a cloud model in which third-party provider hosts application and makes them available to the customers over the internet. Like I said, Dropbox, we all have worked where you can just log in and put your data over there. So what kind of permissions or manageability you'll be getting, that okay, you'll be able to manage your data, you can add permissions, add users, all those things, but you are not taking care of any of the infrastructure, you are not configuring the storage or the database, whatever is required to run the application. So all these things are taken care by the software as a service. So we'll have a very good example with the pizza as a service. We'll try to understand the all the three service models: platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and software as a service. So again, in simple terms, software as a service is a process for providing software to the users over the internet, like project management software, content management software is there, email software like Office 365 we have, right? Contact management, and there are different softwares available. So this is about the software as a service. Let's try to compare all the three service models and see that okay, how the responsibilities differ in case of three service models, because we have gone through all the service models now. So on premise, we know that okay, all will be managed by us. In case of infrastructure as a service, like I said, till virtualization you will be managing, and above all will be managed by the you, and below all the layers will be managed by the vendor only. So in case of platform as a service, till runtime is being managed by the vendor, and this till data and application is managed by the you or the organization. So in case of software as a service, all the layers are being managed by the vendor. So hope guys it is clear now, because as you are moving from on-premise to the infrastructure to the platform to the data, so you can observe one thing, that The control which you were having in case of when you were having your own data center, the control you are having is much more in case of on-premise. So as soon as you are moving from infrastructure to the software, you are getting basically lesser control, but more manageability will be provided by the vendor only. So you need not to take care about the patching, updates of the systems and doing the application upgrades, all those things. So all those things will be managed by the vendor only in case of application, in case of software as a service. In case of platform as a service, application level you will be managing, but OS responsibility, let's say if OS is doing end of life cycle, their patches needs to be upgraded, their vulnerability scans, there are a number of things involved, right? So in that case, you are not that is not your headache. So all those things will be taken care by the vendor only. So it is a platform as a service. But let's say in case of infrastructure as a service, like providing the physical security, CCTV cameras, data centers, yeah, buying a space and then providing cooling equipments, powers, redundant power supply, redundant bandwidth, right? That link from the ISPs. So all these things you are not worried about. You are getting this virtual environment over there, so you can choose the OS you want to install and run your operating system in that case. So pretty much more control as compared to platform as a service model. But again, it is like both ways. So couple of things vendor will be managing, couple of things you will be managing. So, my favorite example, just compare it with a pizza as a service. So, let's say if you are making a pizza at a home, so all these things like cheese, toppings, tomato sauce, pizza dough, fire, everything will be managed by you only. But infrastructure as a service, compare it with take and bake, right? So, pizza dough, everything, vendor is managing, and what you will be managing is like, fire, oven, electrical gas, soda, and dining table. So let's say if pizza is delivered to you, so all these things still here will be managed by the vendor only, by the Pizza Hut or whoever the pizza vendor is there. And in order to enjoy that pizza, you need a dining table and a soda, and definitely you will be eating that pizza. And software as a service, so it is like dined out, wherein all these things which are in yellow will be taken care by the vendor only. So you can just sit and enjoy your pizza. So, just try to compare it with the on-premise infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. So, in this way, I hope it is, now pretty clear with you. In case you are having doubts, you can write to me, in the lectures. We can solve those queries in case still you are having doubt. So, so now we know that, okay, what responsibilities lies with the service provider and what responsibilities lies with the customer in case of all the service model. So now let's see what are the benefits of software as service. So dedicated support on the backend, you can easily keep using the application, as you are paying for that. As soon as it means, as long as you are paying for the service, you can keep on using that. So no requirement to buy and maintain asset in terms of network or hardware. One can focus on the valuable activities which are aligned with your business activities, because you not because the thing is, the more money or the more effort earlier organizations used to put in managing the backend infra. So in case of software as a service, all these things are managed by the vendor now. So you can spend money onto the innovation and all the other things, what are the new services, the new technologies which are coming into the market. So all these things, now the organizations are trying to do and invest money in the R&D. So that is the totally intent over here. And the other thing is data is being replicated on the backup servers, and all those things are taken care by the vendor only. So there is no risk of losing the data. So these are the benefits about the software as a service. So in this lecture we have studied what is software as a service, then the comparison with the platform as a service, software as a service, and then example of pizza as a service. You know when we have seen the comparison with the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So hope you have really enjoyed this lecture, friends. Thank you for watching. Meet you in the next lecture.